welcome back to Comic Book Wednesdays, your weekly service where we talk about comic books. We're your hosts. I'm Ian.
I'm back again, and it's Al.
Whoa! And I'm Shane.
Yeah, I apologize. I gave you guys some grim news a couple weeks ago that Al wouldn't be with us. We mourned him, and he's been back ever since. So
I listened to that recording. It wasn't very mournful. First off, okay.
Well, now that I know you listened, you never texted me when I said he was gonna text me when we get to this part.
I left a message on the YouTube in the comments. So.
Oh shit, he did? He commented? I'm not used to people
did.
commenting. Oh my god, I gotta go back
Quick,
and
people,
look.
comment more and confuse him.
Yes, okay. So we're continuing the Batman, Scott Snyder, Greg Capullo. We did issues. This is the third week of it, right? So we're up to
Yes.
issue 9. So
Yes.
it's 7, 8, 9. Joke. There's a joke in there. You guys didn't hear it. But yeah, no, you got a lot of cool action in these issues. You also got some cool Nightwing background lore for the New 52 continuity. And that's really what our first issue kind of like surrounds. You want to jump into that real quick? Thoughts, comments, concerns?
The tooth. Oh, the tooth.
The tooth. The tooth.
The tooth.
I thought that was interesting how they used the tooth as the spreader of whatever it was that they put into the bodies of the
Talons.
Yes, the talons.
Yeah, so like the chemical that makes them basically immortal.
Undead.
Yeah. Spreads.
I'm
through
loving the
some-
lore.
Yeah.
Like, the more lore we get, the happier I am. But when that scene came up, I was like, "Whoa! Why did you just smack him?" And then he just took it like it was just like, "Oh yeah, this is just typical Tuesday, whatever."
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they have been, training with each other for years, so probably is just a Tuesday for Nightwing.
Batman, you need to show emotions. You need to talk to me more. Whack! I'm talking to you now. Not what I meant, but all right.
Batman communicates with his hands. Oh,
I'm sure
God.
Selena likes that.
I don't want to even talk about Catwoman.
No, we don't want to do that. We don't want
No.
to. We don't want to do that.
No, there's a Batman comic that actually got me off of Batman comics, and it's kind of a hot
Whoa.
take because the fans actually there's a lot of love for the Batman Catwoman wedding arc. Oh my god, I fucking hated it. But that's another comic for another time. We're back to this comic. So
Yes.
we learned that the circus would come into Gotham, and the rich and powerful would basically pick children from the circus, trapeze artists or whatever.
Pretty
And-
messed up, actually.
Yeah, and they
Yeah.
would basically implant them with these teeth things and select them for their talents. Kind of fucked. And the talent that tried to kill Bruce last issue was the great grandfather of Dick Grayson. So
Which that was really cool, I thought.
yeah, nice little tie back there. That's really cool.
But also yet another level of fucked.
Yeah, and instead of telling Dick that he's got like an implant in his mouth that they have to extract using dentistry,
He just beats the shit out of him.
he punches, backhands him no less, in the mouth. Just drops him. Tooth comes out. He's like, "You're chosen to be a Talon too," and I'm like, "Oh my god, there's so many issues."
Spooky. There really is. Although I do have a quick question, because this is something I am not too familiar with. There was the person who was helping Batman in the beginning of issue 7, when he had the I actually took a picture of this. The batteries hooked up to him, and she had like shocked him back to life. Looks like they're right on his nipples too. Who is that?
I'm glad you brought that up. She's a new
Yeah, I didn't know who
character.
that was either.
She's a character that Scott Snyder created for his run in Batman. Her name's Harper Row. Um,
Mhm.
there is some,
Hopper
yeah, Harper Row. There is some
Hopper
there there is some backstory with her. Um, that he kind of dives into as the book progresses a little. And I think issue 12 really goes into her, but we're not going to read 12 because our new collection that we're reading from only goes up to 11. Um, so if you continue to read Snyder's Batman in any form after the Court of the Owls story, you will learn more about Harper. But as far as this story goes, she saved Batman's life, and there's some history there.
Okay. Because I really did think that was interesting, because I totally got the vibe of like, oh, she's trying to maybe become part of the Bat family.
She
She just
eventually
kind of gives
does.
me that vibe.
Yep,
Oh,
she
oh,
eventually
God,
that's
you
does.
cool.
ruined it, Ian.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm not
Sorry.
gonna tell you how and when or what, but like, that's the reason he created her, right? So he can leave his stamp on the Bat family. He actually does that twice. There's another character that gets introduced eventually, um, that I think fans liked more than Harper. Nothing wrong with Harper, but the other
Except for her
character.
name. Hopper
Harper. Yeah. So I
We'll
don't know.
never be
Other
able to
than
read
the
that ever
introduction
again.
of Harper and then the smacking of Dick, there's not really a lot else that happens in that first issue. It's kind of quick,
Um,
unless you have
there is
something
one
else.
thing I want to add, if that's cool.
No, yeah, yeah.
I actually, this is something I was talking to you about earlier. Was I enjoy seeing Batman put into situations where he has to like really use his skills to figure everything out, and him fighting the court. This whole story definitely gives the vibe that he is definitely doing that. But when he comes back to the Batcave and sees that Talon, and he just has that freak out moment in the glasses, no less. That was just fantastic art.
Oh, it really
Yeah.
was. Yeah. Oh my god.
I
I
really enjoyed that. But yeah, that was my last bit from issue 7. I just really enjoyed that part.
so I really like that the effect that the court has on Batman's psyche to the fact where it distracts him enough to notice that he's under siege. He has no freaking clue until the last second. Um, and that's really where the next issue picks up. Kind of like Batman is kind of brooding in his study, looking at the bust, I guess, of his father, if I'm remembering correctly.
Yeah, the family photo and the
Yeah, there's a family photo, there's a bust, there's a couple things. It's just a big room with windows. It's a very iconic Batman, you know.
Brooding moment.
Yeah. And Alfred's coming in and be like, dude, you really need to rest type thing. Like, he's half dead. I mean, like, he did just spend a couple days in a labyrinth and then almost
I'll
drowned.
rest when I'm the other half dead.
Yeah. Yeah. And it seems like Batman's really turning to this, like, state of mind where he thought he knew his city, but he really doesn't. And I think that's also, like, he's struggling with that aspect because he was so sure, the court didn't exist. And now he's looking at, like, this unknown city to him. He's got this, like, sense of pride that's kind of lost, you know?
I did enjoy the moment in that when he was talking to Alfred, and Alfred makes a comment about his eyes, and he's just like, now is not the time for jokes. And Alfred's like, no, I'm not joking. You haven't had any rest, and you look like crap.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was pretty good.
I like that a lot.
But, in a much more elegant Butler style of speak.
Yes, an elegant Alfred style. Thank you, Michael Caine. Um,
Yes.
so yeah, I mean, I think honestly some of the best fight scenes I've seen in Batman comics come from this issue. Like him dodging the Talons, going up on to the roof, just the hand-to-hand combat. I love the whole like almost like banter type from the Talon. Like, oh, it seems like you have a secret, Mister Wayne. Like,
Well, it
moves.
it kind of fucking like I didn't feel like they really. That was the first time we got to hear them converse with him. You know, like they kind of. I don't know if I missed it in the last issue. It was kind of like they were like the voiceless assassin and just did what they were told, and then this issue we got a whole bunch of talking from him, which was
Well, I
kind of
think
fun.
the last couple issues, it was one Talon, right? It was like the one guy that
Yeah.
he quote unquote killed, and now they unleashed the rest of their talents. So maybe they just, or they're all a little different, quirky. Um, kind of like it. Um, yeah, no, it's really neat. I mean, and I love seeing like things like the giant penny, like Alfred smishing a talent with a giant penny. That was kind of cool.
And the T
That
Rex.
was cool.
The T
Fido.
Rex.
What?
Fido.
Fido? Fido was it?
Yeah,
Yep.
activate Fido or whatever. And he's like starts like attacking the talents. So
I think my favorite scene in that issue was get the fuck out of my house.
yeah, he opens up the armory doors and he's in his bat suit tank thing. Oh, so cool.
Props to the Court of Owls for like, one of the smarter villains in my opinion, because here they have, they had him, they captured him, and they were like, oh no, we're just going to use one Talon. One Talon's going to be fine. Then he beat the shit out of him, and then I imagine at that point they were all like, we're not making that mistake again.
Let's send the whole
Release the
fleet.
hounds.
Yeah, send everybody.
Yeah, send them all.
Full send! Full send!
Yeah. You also kind of get the glimpse of the rest of the Bat family fighting across the city in these issues. And, Alfred, they kind of have that back issue where Alfred makes that call out and the art changes. Um, it was literally meant to be like a separate issue within an issue type thing, where a different artist gets a chance to like kind of like mess around on the book a bit.
Oh, okay.
So
Got a little
kinda,
Batgirl scene there.
Yeah. Yeah, and what's cool is, I mean, that's so. This is where the crossover picks up, and the crossover consists of the rest of the Bat family books doing their
Okay.
thing during the Night of the Owls. So
Oh.
That's cool.
yeah, so if you see the book Night of the Owls, that collection is all the crossover books, and they're all neat. You get to see them trying to rescue as many people as possible. Um, so you get to see that. So the whole event is rather large, but like it's if you're just reading Batman, it's about 11 issues, so it's not too bad, and the rest is kind of just seasoning on top of a good story.
I feel
Well,
like
that's
we
fair.
could have kind of done that with Infinity, but I almost like it better that we flushed it out so much.
With Infinity, like because we were already reading Hickman's like whole thing, it was like you might as well just continue with it because
Yeah.
the Infinity books are their own thing. I mean, we didn't really do that for Original Sin. There are a lot of crossover books for Original Sin. Actually, there are a lot more Infinity crossover books as well that we didn't touch. We just read the event.
Oh, I'm sure, but
Yeah.
what we got out of it was kind of fun because
Yeah.
it was reading a huge section of, I guess not that book, but several books.
And we might do something big like that again as far as Marvel's concerned. Eventually, it's just that when reading off Marvel, like we have access to everything Marvel, but
Oh, yeah.
we don't have that for everything. If we were using like DC's app where we had access to everything, that'd be
Ugh.
different.
You know how I feel about that app.
Yeah, they're missing a lot of comics, and it's kind of frustrating because it's their IP. I don't know why they can't just have it all there, but
Right, there's
a lot.
no reason that they shouldn't have every comic that they ever wrote on that app.
Right. I mean, storage is one thing, but don't give me issues 1, 2, 3, and then skip to 7, and then skip to 13. And
Well,
don't do that.
You remember I was reading the Green
Oh,
Arrow
that's
comics
janky.
from the very beginning, and it got up to like issue 56, and then jumped to 98. It was like, What
That would
the hell?
that would have killed it for me. I would have been so done.
I was pretty much,
Yeah,
because I was really enjoying the comic too. It was
right,
a really
and
good comic run.
then you lose everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, let's jump back to Batman. We're getting a little off the mark here,
Yes.
but yeah, I mean, so the the Night of the Owls has started. I mean, Batman's fighting off his knights, off the night, not the Talons, I should say, not knights. That doesn't make any sense. Um, yeah, a lot of action. I mean, like, there's not a lot to like unwrap per se. Um, Batman didn't get a chance to save Lincoln March. That was the mayor candidate that he was.
Yeah, I like that character too. I thought he was a good guy.
Yeah.
From the little bit that we got from him,
Yeah, he's one of those, like, it kind of reminds me of the White Knight Harvey Dent esque type
Yeah,
character.
I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah. Um, except he's dead, so.
Not so much. Maybe the Red Knight?
Yeah, I know. Al, you were gonna kind of break down your thoughts for the book. You had like just like your overall feelings. Well, tell me about it. I mean, how did you your likes, your dislikes?
Well, first off, I'm gonna say I had a hard time not like just continuing to read after I was done those 3 books.
Yeah.
They were pretty damn good. But overall, I really enjoyed the whole thing. I thought it was a lot of fun. Those 3, at least.
No, yeah. I mean, so far the whole thing has been great in my opinion. I can't really say there are things that I dislike.
Not that I found much of.
Yeah. So, how about you, Shane? Anything that you disliked? Because I know you've liked a lot of it.
To be honest, nothing is really coming up as like a major dislike for me. I mean, there've definitely been a couple of bits where I was more surprised. Like, okay, going back to the Dick Grayson thing where he just backhanded him and knocked his tooth out. Like that was more one of those issues that like bits that I was like, okay, is this normal? Because I know in that moment he was just like, hey, you just need to talk about your feelings. You just need to talk to me. Backhanded him, and then that was it. But like, no, I didn't really have any. I haven't really had any major dislikes. It's just been a really solid story so far.
Yeah, no real complaints. It's not like when we were reading the Space Avengers stuff where I'm just like, let's get on with this.
Yeah.
Yeah, get to the point.
Yeah. No, it's good. So as far as like next week, we're gonna take a break. Shane's gonna be going out.
No, I have a doctor's appointment. I have to adult.
Yeah.
Ah, freaking adulting. I
Yeah.
probably won't be here. I'm just putting that out there. No, I'm kidding.
The following week, we're just doing 2 issues. We only have 2 issues left in this run. So Al, if you're really feeling it, you can just go and read them.
Yeah, I might be. It's hard not to. They're pretty good issues.
Definitely. And then
I am really excited for him to go back at the Owls and really screw them up.
oh yeah, it's if I remember correctly, it's got a nice ending to it. There might even be a little twist in there.
I'm sure it's going to be really good.
Love a good twist.
But yeah, let's wrap up here. I think we're kind of rambling at this point. So thanks everybody for listening. If there are comments, I will go and look. I tell everybody to comment, like, and stuff.
And you didn't comment or like my comment, so
I didn't even look. I have to interact, man. I'm terrible.
See?
All right, I'm gonna go back.
See? This guy. I tell you people. You know what? This guy.
Yeah. All right. Well, with that note, I'm Ian.
I'm Al.
And I'm Shane.
This was Comic Book Wednesdays. Good night, everybody.
Good night.